You see tonight it could go either way. Hearts balanced on a razor blade.
Does anybody feel like things are getting worse? I haven't been having much fun with newly released games lately. It feels like every big-name game that's come out after 2018 has had this weird, shitty, half-baked feel to them. Games that I was excited to play ended up being various levels of shit. Games I thought I would be playing for years I dropped after a few months. And even games I really liked felt lacking in content or had issues that really shouldn't have been there. I don't even know how to describe it. Everything has just felt off somehow. I think literally the only exception has been AI the Somnium File, so shout out to Uchikoshi for being the best in the biz right now. There are a lot of reasons as to why this might be. Crunch is becoming a bigger and bigger issue in games, COVID continues to fuck everything up, my mental health is probably a factor in how I experience things, maybe I'm just not playing the right games. The reason I'm starting the video like this is because the game I feel embodies this weird caca dog shit vibe the most, just this pure, raw, concentrated mixture of everything that makes video games bad, is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I am not going to mince words and end up with a video that's way nicer and more flowery than it has any right being like my other recent videos. This shit is a scam. 100% a scam. Not even close to being worth the time and money. If you liked it or had fun, I'm happy for you, but it's a scam regardless. Like, I really don't even know where I'm gonna have the opportunity to be funny in this video because there's so much wrong here. Anything that makes this game an enjoyable experience, which it can be one sometimes, is just buried. Buried under graphical issues, bugs, glitches, structural problems, flat characters, shitty story beats. There are some decent moments and redeeming qualities, but make no mistake, the game is not good. Not even close. If you're looking at this, going on Metacritic and giving this game any higher than a 3 out of 10, you're out of your goddamn mind. Let's get right into it. Literally from the first frame of the game, you can get a taste of the magical adventure you're about to embark on. Oh my god. I'm assuming that you either have a Twitter, had one prior to a few weeks ago, or don't live under a rock. But in case you do, there are some glitches in the video game. They're very funny glitches, but not funny enough to make me feel like I didn't waste my money. When I was making this video and wondered what national Dex level tragedy would completely ruin this game, this is admittedly not what I had in mind. The Crobecat video on this shit is going to go insane. I'm assuming you've seen the really bad ones, so here's a quick compilation of my favorite bugs I've personally ran into. You have my trainer standing on the wrong side of battle, Director Clavel jump scare, Cyclizar just chilling in this cutscene for 10 minutes, every Pokemon going low poly mode if the camera is more than 3 feet away from them, Speed, Fletchinder taking a page out of Sword and Shield's book, this Grunt's brain doubling in size mid-battle, Pokeballs inside every single room you go in for no reason, getting into battles as soon as you run from one, so I just keep getting fucked by Varoom. That's not a glitch, but it is funny. The ending to Despicable Me. And my personal favorite, this guy's feet doing this. Honest to God, this is the funniest shit I've seen in any video game I've played. How do you even make these things happen unintentionally? Did any of the development time go into bug fixes, or did they just give up? Because that's what it felt like. They just gave up in general. There's the funny stuff, but then you get the really sad ones when you look out over the vast world of Paldea and wonder where it all went wrong. The graphics are ass, not even in a funny way. This like surpasses the Lego Harry Potter level editor graphics. We're on Roblox levels of quality, baby, except Roblox actually looks better than this. This is so horrible and unoptimized that, again, I'm wondering how even with a development cycle as short as this, you still end up with a game that has this many graphical issues. There's no polish at all here. People and Pokemon consistently move at a ridiculously low FPS, cities are completely barren, the textures are ugly, and again, go low poly mode if you're further than 3 feet away from them. The mountain area is this giant putrid white void with constantly shifting textures and shadows. I've never seen anything this ugly in a video game before. I can't believe I had the audacity to even hope that they'd improve upon the graphical issues of Legends Arceus. Dude, I can't believe how badly this video aged, like I'm sorry. There wasn't a single moment I was playing this game and thought, wow, this looks pretty. Because anything even remotely pretty in this game gets ruined by pop-in or frame rate drops. I will say 99% of the Pokemon textures look good, and that was a nice touch, but graphically, the game is a toilet. It's hilarious how they're trying to market this game as like, explore a beautiful, diverse region filled with awesome sights and cool stuff to do. And then the video they put over it is either a slideshow because they didn't have time to animate NPCs any higher than 10 FPS, or they just give up entirely and show you the most ugly unrendered shots in history. Why is this? What the hell is going on here? Well, says the online opinion haver, maybe the Switch can't handle this game. They are running the open world game on a literal toaster. Many people are saying this, and these people are fucking stupid. Look, I generally don't like to come for anyone's throat during my videos, but if you're gonna sit there and say that Game Freak, who has put out maybe 1 or 2 non-misses in a decade of constantly releasing games, has suddenly gained the expertise and creative prowess to make a game that is so powerful, so technologically advanced that the Nintendo Switch can't handle it without exploding, go to the doctor. No, go turn this shit off and go. Right now. I don't want you here. And if you think they need to make a Nintendo Switch Pro just to support future Pokemon games when nobody can buy PS5s after 2 years and next-gen games cost $70, go turn yourself in. Go to the police station and tell them you killed someone. Whatever, just get the hell out of my video. I get it, this thing's a piece of shit. Nobody is expecting boundary-breaking graphical masterpieces on it. But come on, dude. Breath of the Wild, Shin Megami Tensei, Xenoblade, Mario Odyssey, Monster Hunter Rise, a billion half-hearted PS3 ports, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which is a port of a 3DS game that came out in 2015. All of these blow this argument to pieces. Sure, these games have plenty of rough spots, but literally try and tell me Pokemon doesn't look like shit next to any of these. Something really bad was going on behind the scenes of this game's development for it to look like this. That is the worst of it, though. But keep these glitches and graphical issues in mind whenever I say anything nice about this game, because I am going to be saying some nice things, but they're nowhere close to balancing out this shit. There's still plenty of things that feel just overrun with the shit plague too, for lack of a better term. For example, the presentation of Paldea and the game in general, outside of the glitches and graphical stuff I just mentioned. No matter what you do or where you go in this game, there's no soul at all. Paldea is a region filled with cut-and-paste ruins with like one thing in them, one trainer standing out in the middle of nowhere, people that you can't interact with, hordes of children just aimlessly wandering a town with one openable door. I'd like to apologize for calling Alola empty back in 2016 or whenever that video was, because I had no clue what I was fucking talking about. The towns in this game, the places that should arguably tell you the most about Paldea aesthetically, suck massive dick. You can't enter buildings anymore for some reason, so each town is basically a reskin of various stores in different orders, if you're lucky. Otherwise, you have like one restaurant. You can't even go in the stores, they're just menus. Fucking menus, did they not have the time to design any interiors at all? Even the Elite Four only had like one battle room. And they even had to split up the shops so these places have some substance. Now you have like 10 different clothing stores that sell different things, but none of them actually sell basic clothes because, oh, you have to wear a uniform because you go to school. Why would you give us an option for clothes then? They also have plenty of stores that sell different food items for your sandwiches. There's not one grocery store, there's like a billion small ones right next to each other. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, imagine one day you run out of soda. So you gotta go to Aldi to buy more, but then when you get there, you realize they only sell cheese. So the Aldi guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, this is cheese Aldi. We only sell cheese here. You'll want to go to Soda Aldi, and then the closest Soda Aldi is next door. Like, what's the point? I get it, it's based on Europe, they do things differently there, but the way this game treats shops and cities in general just makes the region feel like a husk. The UI is completely sterile too. No colors, no shapes, everything is either purple or gray. They got rid of the pixel icons for Pokemon and items because that's something that everybody loved in BDSP. I guarantee you the reason these boxes take so long to load is because they're rendering each of these as a full static 3D model. It's somehow a step down from Sword and Shield, and that game's aesthetic was soul-crushing. I get that this is a weird thing to focus on, but I'd like at least something decent to look at in this game. The music is fine overall though, except for the Ed Sheeran song. I guess that's what happens when you blow half your budget on Toby Fox. Let's talk structure. For an open world game, this is probably the single most important thing you don't want to fuck up. Outside of, making sure your game actually works. And I'd say they fucked it up a moderate amount. Splitting up your usual gyms, rival, evil team story into separate beats that can be done in any order is a great concept, and works well with an open world structure. Or at least it would if it could actually be done in any order. Remember when I wondered in this video how long it would take before your exploration was halted by objectives or wild Pokemon that were too high level, and you had to go back and play the way the game wanted you to play? Turns out, it was almost immediately. Why the hell is there no level scaling in this game? Nimona does it, why can't anyone else in this goddamn region? I understand that you don't have to follow the arbitrary order of bases, gyms, titans exactly, but it makes the game a lot less headache-inducing. Who would know how to do this without a guide? There were hardly any fights where I felt like I was at a good level. I was either 10 levels over or 10 levels under, because I chose not to do things in the correct order. It wasn't horrible, I swear to God I can actually play this game, but it seems like a no-brainer to actually provide some genuine freedom in how you progress through the game, like, you know, a lot of open-world games. I guess they at least try to mend this through the design of the world itself, because it's not like Breath of the Wild where you start here and can go anywhere. Instead, you start here, you can go this way or this way. So for at least the first few gyms and stuff, you have to go out of your way and not do the easy ones first to get screwed, except for the fire base, cause fuck you. They aren't throwing you to the wolves immediately, but if you stray ever so slightly off the path, you can get fucked pretty fast. So in general, the game doesn't really feel as open as it would like you to believe. But since this is an open world game, there should be plenty of other incentives to explore and find new stuff and go after content that's not one of the main story objectives, right? I mean, sort of. The biggest motivator for me was, obviously, the Pokemon. My first few hours of the game were spent going through each new area and catching all the new Pokemon, and it was a good time. But you do need to beat the gyms to catch the higher level ones reliably, or upgrade Robo Bitch to reach certain areas. Also, you don't get Ultra Balls until after beating the 5th gym, which is total bullshit. So even if you can focus on catching Pokemon, you're sort of limited unless, once again, you decide to focus on the things the game wants you to focus on. And it sucks that the Pokedex in this game isn't any bigger than Sword and Shield's. You start to notice how few Pokemon there are pretty quickly. In a region as huge and diverse as Paldea, you're still going to be seeing the Psyduck and Knackley lines across the entire country. Which, I guess is an issue in every game, but it shouldn't have been one here. You have more than one water type, you know. By the time I was wrapping up the main objectives, I had already caught almost everything in each new area, so the appeal was pretty much gone. It feels so limiting, and if the new standard is 400 Pokemon per game, it's not going to be fun. Now, I want to go on a quick tangent before I rip into another really lame exploration incentive. A few months back, I was watching one of those PlayStation State of Plays, or some shit, where I saw this specific trailer for one of those generic open-world, survival, crafting games. And the entire content of the trailer was some vaguely European guy talking about how good the crafting system in the game was.
You'll need to make realm cards from rare resources. Once you have realm cards, you can activate the portal.
That made me realize something. That's why I can't fucking stand open-world games! Because all these massive maps are filled with dumbass, useless crafting materials that clog up my inventory that, if I want, I can choose to craft into dumbass, useless items that also clog up my inventory. And those items are what you get for exploring like 99% of the time. It's like you could have put that guy over any modern game. You can craft the item to craft, then use the item to find more items to craft, and craft those items also. Craft the ladder to go up the cliff and find the crafting recipe. Then use the item to fight the monster. Then craft more items from the monster items. Find all the items to get the ultimate crafting recipe to craft more items to craft. But does this apply to Scarlet and Violet? It sure fucking does. They brought back single-use TMs again. But this time, you can craft more and more of the TMs. Craft to your heart's content with the items you get from the Pokemon. Kill the Magikarp to craft the items from the crafting items you get from the Magikarp. Then teach the TM to your Pokemon. Then find more and more TMs and craft more of the TMs to craft to teach the TMs to your Magikarp. Craft all of the TMs in our crafting Pokemon game. Look, listen, Doomcough. If you're going to make crafting the items one of the main rewards of exploration, please make getting the materials not a pain in the ass and make the items you craft actually useful. I think it took me a good 7 hours before I found a TM that was worth using. And during my playthrough, there was only one I decided I should go out of my way to craft. This was not a system that was worth engaging with. Why they're still removing reusable TMs in the first place is entirely beyond me. There are a few other reasons to explore, like the legendary stakes and gimme coin, but these just feel like stuff that were pasted in to make the world feel 1% less empty. Unlike Korok seeds or these dumb fucks, there's no reward if you don't find them all. So if I don't feel like getting golden Gogurt over here, I'm not gonna bother whenever I hear that dumbass cry that sounds like my body processing Whataburger. On to the story. It sucks. Mostly. It's Pokemon, what did you expect? Because the different stories are so split up and take such a small percentage of your playtime, for the most part, they aren't that engaging, and each one has its fair share of problems. Gyms are pretty much the same as they've always been. I thought it was pretty cute how the first couple tried teaching you the lore of the town the gym took place in, if you can call it lore. Like, I don't remember the name of this place, but I know that this is where they grow the olives. This is because I rolled around a big olive. But by the end of the game, they give up, and it's like, this is the town where you press the buttons to make the funny face for 5 minutes. What did you expect? The people in this game can't enter buildings. You can't go to the club. There's nothing else to do. Nemona wasn't as annoying as people made her out to be, but Gita was the worst champion they've ever made. There's no stakes to the championship, because that's not actually the end of the game, so it was overall pretty boring. Larry was funny, though. The Team Star story, on the other hand, fucking suck, dude. This is the part of the game where you press the R button forever and then beat up a car. That's all you do. It felt like they came up with this in 10 minutes and actually programmed it in 5. It's lame, the auto-battling just doesn't work sometimes, and I don't think it ever took me more than 3 minutes to finish this 10-minute challenge because I'm so goddamn good at video games. But it still felt like too long. It's dumb. You're literally trapped in purgatory, slamming the R button forever and watching 5 FPS animations. That is the entirety of the Evil Team gameplay for this gen. No bases, no important battles, no stakes, just R button. And the story is like, they tried to tell a friendly E-rated story about friendly friends who are friends, but with an understanding of how school bullying works straight out of Cool Cat Saves the Kids. So this one's a total miss. The only story that felt decently engaging was the one with Arvin and the doggy. The Titan part was boring as shit, but this is the only time they actually sort of succeed at establishing a story and building on it, which they then wrap up during Area 0. For the last hour of the game, there is some good stuff here. It feels complete. But it feels like a complete ending to a story that barely got written, because you're only spending a third of the game at most building up towards the climax, and you spend the rest of it rolling olives and learning about how not cool bullying is. Let's rapid fire through some of the smaller scale newer features. I'm happy to announce that terastallizing isn't that bad, actually. It works, it's better than Z-moves and Dynamax. I actually feel like I'm using my brain deciding when to use it instead of pressing the giant kill button like a toddler. My only complaint is that it looks dumb. There's no cool factor here. No 10-year-old kid is gonna look at the light bulb hat and go, "Wah!" It would also be better if there was some unpredictability when NPCs use it, like the gym leader's Terra typing to something that isn't the same as all their other Pokemon. And I played a bit of the Terra raids, but I know they're sort of broken, so I don't think I'm gonna bother with the big ones. I thought the rewards were a little lacking, but it's better than having a chance of getting a one-use TM like in Sword and Shield. So, I guess these are fine. I had fun with the ones I did with friends, but the Charizard raids or whatever aren't for me. Paradox Pokemon are a cool idea that are executed pretty well, but you don't interact with them until the end of the game, so they don't feel that huge. What else? Changes to breeding seem fine, I guess. Oh, sandwiches are completely fucking stupid. Imagine if making Pokeblocks took like 40 times longer, because you had to hike through the Balkans to get all the ingredients for something that's gonna give you 10 minutes of effects. Remember when we just pressed the premature birthing button in X and Y and that was the end of it? Good times. They also added classes, which I never did these. The rewards are shit. I already got my diploma. I'm an adult. I don't have to deal with them. There's a Persona Confidant system with the teachers? Wait, this is actually the first time I'm hearing about this. Is there any reason to do them? I mean, I don't really like Galarian Meowth, so not really. The entire academy feels so half-finished, like they wanted to add more school features and make it a big part of the game, but just didn't. Why is this stuff even here? What else do we have? We already discussed how bad auto-battling was. It doesn't give you much XP in the wild, so who cares? We also have follow Pokemon! Okay, Gonta Deluxe, let's go! It's still funny, though. It doesn't work. I'm not gonna waste my breath complaining about it. It doesn't work. It's stupid. And now they're making you do it to evolve Pokemon. No thanks. Stupid game. There are a ton of other general quality of life and other small nitpicky things that I have problems with too, but that shouldn't be news at this point. I fucking hate how there's no Legends Arceus shiny sparkle noise. I get that it was 2 different teams working on these games, but this is really something that should have been brought over. Not only because so many shinies barely change color, but a lot of Pokemon are the size of a fucking pea on my screen, so I've probably missed a few shinies by now. It seems like a no-brainer. It doesn't make shiny hunts easier. There's no reason to not have it. The battle camera is complete ass and is a total downgrade from Legends Arceus. On launch, Pokemon didn't close their eyes when they fell asleep. I thought that was an intentional change. Hail got phased out for no reason. You can't turn off battle animations. The map becomes completely useless if you zoom out all the way. There's still 0 voice acting outside of a few tiny sound clips. I could go on for hours about all the little shit that adds up in this game. I think the only quality of life things that I can say are good are being able to relearn moves whenever and auto-heal. But for the most part, it's like the shit plague I talked about at the start has just festered its little fingers into every corner of this game. Quality of life doesn't feel great, the new features feel half-baked or poorly implemented, the story was probably written up on a napkin during lunch break, and you're experiencing it all through the same engine that brought you Who Killed Annoying Orange Obby. Why? Why is the game like this? What happened here? I've seen a lot of people throw blame at Game Freak being lazy, TPCI being lazy, guaranteed success of the game no matter how bad it is. Why is this game so unbelievably shitty? Why couldn't they just spend more time on it or delay the game? I think I know the answer, but real quick, let me check with my friends who play this game more than I do to see how they feel.
Hey guys, quick question. If Scarlet and Violet got delayed by a year and a half and you had to keep playing Dynamax formats in VGC, how would you feel?
I would feel terrible, man.
I'd commit suicide on the spot.
Suicide watch?
It's fucking Snowpiercer, dude. I keep trying to tell you, if the engine stops running, everybody will die. If we stop getting new games and new Pokemon, they won't be able to sell merchandise, nobody gets a paycheck, and your kids don't get anything for Christmas. They can't afford to not make shitty, unfinished games every year. I'm sure COVID, crunch, and general ineptitude all played some part in this, but this is why. There's no opportunity to fully develop cohesive ideas, tell engaging stories, or make quality games when your entire release cycle is based on slapping together new shit as quickly as possible. Do you know what the saddest part about Scarlet and Violet is? Deep down, past all the shit, there's a game there. There's a story that could have been great to experience, a world that could have been great to explore. People have been begging for an open world Pokemon with more cohesive MMO elements for years, but they gave us this instead. There was a point from the terrestrializing trailer to that one Twitter video where catching Psyduck breaks the whole game, where maybe, just maybe, it felt like this game wouldn't suffer from post-2018 shit disease. But that's not anything special. There was a potentially good game in all these games, but they're all gonna be buried under shit. Every time a shitty Pokemon game comes out, the online opinion havers will come out of the woodworks and be like, well, it's your fault for buying and supporting the games. Most of the time, I don't give a shit about what online randos have to say, but damn. 10 million copies in 3 days. Biggest console exclusive launch ever. I bought this shit, dude. I am part of the problem. And you know what? I don't think there's any hope that this game will be fixed. It's not gonna get better. It's been a month now, we've gotten some minor battle fixes, but putting into work to fix everything isn't gonna get them more money. If they were gonna do anything, we'd have seen this dumbass by now saying some shit like, we understand that things aren't up to the usual Pokemon standards. I guarantee you we're gonna get an announcement for DLC within a month, and it's gonna end up being just as broken. There is no reason to believe that things will get better. So where do we go from here? What do we do? I'm sick of ending these videos with, this series would be a lot better if they added this, 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 and this in the next game, and then ending up disappointed. So you know what I want now? I want this to be the breaking point. I hope this is the point where everyone involved with the production of this game actually looks at what people are saying and are like, oh shit, what are we supposed to do now? I hope if they do release another pile of shit in however many years it takes, nobody buys it because it's not as funny this time around. They've tried working with a third-party developer, that didn't work. They tried something with a new formula, that kinda worked, but it was held back by more quality issues. They keep trying to make games on a larger and larger scale, and that's not working either. But with numbers like these, it's hard to believe that anything will change. We're not even at the finish it later content drip feed level anymore. They can probably finish it never and still make $1 trillion billion. I hate to become an online opinion haver, but it's hard to see the series going anywhere good after what happened here. So you know what? I'm done. I'm done with all this. No big emotional ending about how being a lifelong fan of this game sucks. No more crying about my childhood and Gen 5. It's over. I'm done buying these games. And I'm done focusing so heavily on Pokemon. I don't give a shit what comes next. If it's a black and white remake, if they find an actual good developer, if they do some wacko shit in the Octopath Traveler art style, I don't care. Unless it is something exciting and new that's actually been worked on, that's gonna blow my dick clean off my body, I'm not gonna care anymore. And I know this company does not have the ability to do that. I think the best this franchise has to offer is far behind us. And I think it's been that way for a while. That's not easy for me to say. Pokemon is the single most influential series in my life. I've been dealing with the void that comes with these games being bad for as long as I've been making serious videos. Maybe it is time to find something new. Go back to a different... Wait, no. No, fuck, no, no!